Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks, and I did a video the other day about this particular logo and how to get that circle in there. And if you didn't watch it, it's pretty cool design. But the person I did it for asked, how do you get them in the center of this box? There's multiple ways. One of them, let's just move these out of the way for a second. When you first start, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing, if you first start with your first rectangle and you hit P and put it in the center of the page, and if you even bring down indexing lines and hit P, if you do not move that, they're going to be in the center. We can add this other rectangle like we did. Let's move it up just a hair, holding down the control button so it'll be in the center. And then when you weld it, this was the part that they were having trouble for, because now the center of this is right here. So now if we hit P, it moves it down and it changes that dimension. So as long as you start there, and then you could make your pin dimension that 1/2 inch like we did and around the corners and everything, but I'm not going to go through that. If you want to watch that when you can, but we're just going to take this one, and let's say we didn't do that, and we've got this shape, and we have it in the center. How do you find the center now because this indexing line is off? Well, there's two ways. One, you could just take your object, and one, well, there's more than two ways. Because these corners are almost square, you could just take a rectangle and kind of start in that corner and go over that corner and, get it close. And that would be square, and then you could move your indexing line down to that box, and it'll actually tell the center. That's not going to be maybe 100% accurate. The other way you could do is, one, you could measure it with the parallel dimension tool and use math, but there's an easier way than that. If we grab that, hold down the control button, and you can see it's 6.79 to the, or 9.79 to the center. But the easiest way to do it would be to take a 2-point line and go from that line, holding down the control button so it's perpendicular, and stop on that node. That center of that line will always be, well, it's in the center of the line. And you can kind of see how much we were off by, if you click on the line, there's our center, so you can move your indexing line to that center. And I guarantee you that this is exactly half. And then actually it kind of helps you in a way to snap that to the center. If you have snap to guidelines on, you can have it snap to that guideline a little better. And there's probably still a multiple way. So we're going to put it right there. And if you remember the other day, that's a 1/2 inch line. So we made our deal a 1/4 inch nudge. So now that is exactly in the half. And then just make a duplicate of that. You can actually hold down the control button and move it over. And you don't need to do that. And then just move that over because you have snap to on. And then for the people that maybe didn't watch that video, what we were doing is we actually made these 0.6. So with the ratio lock, we can go 0.6. Whoop. With the ratio unlock, make them 0.6. And then those circles are a little bit bigger. And then when we take the Smart Field tool, and we're actually going to use a nudge here, so we need to measure it of almost 18 inches. We'll change our nudge factor to 18. We'll take the Smart Field tool and fill that in. Fill that in. Now we have a hole. And then, well, take it back. My idea didn't work. It made our holes oval. So we can't use that theory. What you're going to have to do is just do them individually. I kind of thought that wasn't going to work. If you just take that 1/2 inch with your ratio lock and go ahead and make it 0.6, see what it did? It made it still round, 0.6. And then when you use your Smart Field tool, we'll change it back because to 16 inches, I think it was. Smart Field, and the reason we're doing this just to get it out of the way so you can kind of see what we're doing. And then you take these holes and make them 0.5, color them in with black, and then nudge them over. And then you have that gap, and if you do it to both, and it's pretty neat because when you nudge it, it'll be right there. And then I actually showed in that video if that's not enough, and the person I was doing for didn't care what size the border was because they know how to change it. You know, you can change your nudge to 0.01 and nudge this up and nudge this down the same amount. And then you have a thicker line, especially if you're going to engrave this. It's still a 1/2 inch gap, but you just expanded that line a little bit. Anyway, I hope that helped them a little bit. Thank you for watching.